Well, hey everybody, Tim Hyman doing Facebook Live. It is Monday, August 10th. Going to give us a chance to be able to add some people before we start diving into it and everything. But love you guys. Love the chance to be able to talk with you here for a little bit. A couple things I wanted to talk about and was going to make a very big announcement. So really appreciate it so much, the chance to talk about it. It's a big announcement. I wanted to say again how much I appreciate last Tuesday, everybody that ended up coming out that day, all the people that voted for me. Obviously, I love you all. What's not to love about all of you? And everybody that participated in the election last year. Obviously, I appreciate them. It was... I'm just getting distracted. So anyway, we're going to add some more people, get into some stuff, but I just again want to say appreciate very, very much everybody that supported me in my run for governor. That night was very special to me. I was surrounded by friends, my family, and I really encourage all of you to keep updated with all of our updates. You're going to keep getting email updates from me from now till doomsday until you unsubscribe. But the first thing I'm going to start out with is, again, sincere, deep thank you and appreciation for everybody. As soon as that night ended up ending, I just wanted to get something out as soon as possible to thank everybody. But on Wednesday, I basically spent the whole day just kind of hanging out. And so, so Thursday, I was able to get out a big thank you to everybody. And I had a chance to express my appreciation to my amazing team, Tiffany Sherwood, Nick Sherwood, amazing couple. I love them to death. Pete and Megan, absolutely mind-blowing team that we ended up having there. Sarah and Ashley, incredible. Connor, amazing. I'm so grateful that there are so many people that were willing to be part of my team. And all of them, what I was really proud of is that they were with me the whole time. So there wasn't this kind of musical chair stuff going on. I'm kind of bringing in some more people, seeing if that can end up working. But I just have an amazing team. Now, the volunteers, I will not do justice to all of them that were out there. Josh and Josh. Josh Myers, Josh Windsor, amazing. Chris, who kept me safe in the lawless zone. There were just so many people that helped me along the way. Debbie and Larry, I wouldn't have owned that bridge above I-5 if it hadn't been for you guys. Suzanne, always brutally honest, heavy on the brutal. Really liked so much to have Tiffany and Steve and their beautiful family always being able to come to my events and everything. And all of them saying, you know, whatever your new projects are, whatever your new things are, we're in. We're in for that. So we have election night. I have me and Riley, and it was just an incredible evening. By the way, Riley loved it. Really enjoyed election night and really had a chance to be able to get out there and show her stuff one more time. Had a chance to have Jackson join me as well on stage, and that was really nice. Because Jackson's 22 years old and I've been doing politics for 22 years. So he's literally seen it the entire time and he's watching right now. I love you, son. So just to embarrass you, it's what I do. So anyway, so thank you was the big part of it. So that's kind of stage one, phase one is thank you. Thank you to everybody. I am like so incredibly grateful. It was an amazing experience. Running for governor. I really feel I was called to do it. I really feel like I was, it was the right thing to do. I have no regrets. I never do. But I have no regrets doing it. And I'm just so incredibly thankful and grateful. And what I really loved about the experience was I just met so many incredible people. And it is different than a ballot measure. You're putting your faith in ballot measures. You're putting your faith in an idea. When you run for office and you have people saying they're going to vote for you, they're kind of adopting the whole package. And for those of you who know me, adoption is a big thing in my family. And so as a result, adoption. It's kind of cool to be adopted by 180,000, keeps going up, but maybe like 200,000 people. And as I'm walking down the street with Riley, people are saying, I voted for you, Tim. And they're writing me like first name, I voted for you, Tim. And I'm always going to feel that bond with anybody who says that. And so just incredible, just nonstop incredible. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, and Josh, you're weighing in. Thank you, man. The other thing I wanted to weigh in is my endorsement of Loren Culp. I thought that every candidate, you sign a sheet of paper with the state party saying you'll endorse the person that ends up winning. And it's a pretty easy thing for everyone to sign that because everybody thinks they're going to win. So it's a pretty easy document to sign. And so all the candidates ended up signing that form. So you can argue, I was obligated to support Loren Culp. And it wasn't like that for me at all. I really came at the entire race, the entire experience, I think a lot more, if I can dare use the word, mature than a lot of the people that run for office. Being that I was in the arena for 22 years, I've seen so many different times candidates run for office and the whole endorsement game after the election is over with becomes really a hot potato. And so I knew that going into it. And so when I learned that I wasn't the chosen one and everything, I wanted to make sure that I did things in order. So the first thing I wanted to do was to do this thank you, to make sure that everybody knew how much I appreciated them on my side, them in my corner, all the people that volunteered, just amazing people throughout. The Lisas, I have a million Lisas out there. Lisa Thomas, Lisa Gregory, I have so many Lisas. But the thank you was the first priority. I was supposed to get that on Wednesday, but I got it out on Thursday. And so I had a chance to absolutely thank the people that I wanted to thank. I probably forgot some people, and I'm always going to feel bad about that. But I was able to make sure that I got that thank you out there, and I got that out on Thursday. Then on Thursday night, I ended up saying, I'm going to write my Loren Culp endorsement thing. And I remembered watching the whole process is that some candidates play this game where I'll vote for you. And then everyone goes, well, you're voting for him, but are you supporting him? And then they go, well, you're voting for him and you're supporting him, but are you endorsing him? And then they go, are you supporting him, endorsing him, voting for him, and do you want your supporters to do the same? And are you going to help him be able to win? And so it's this big game. And so I made sure that on my endorsement, I made it very clear, my first sentence, this is not difficult for me. And the reason that sentence was so important to me was that you needed to know that I was completely at peace with whatever the voters decided. Because of that 22 years of maturity, I knew that the ultimate decision wasn't up to me at all. And like I said on election night, it is up to a higher power. And I wanted to emphasize the higher power is obviously even higher than voters. It's God. God has a plan for all of us. I have faith that he has in mind exactly, he knows exactly what he's doing. He has a plan for me, he has a plan for you, he has a plan for all of us. And we need to have faith in him that he knows what he's doing and that it's all going to work out the way it's supposed to. And I think that makes people unnerved that somehow that means you don't want it enough or that you're not willing to fight enough for it. I hope I showed over the last 8 months that I worked my tail off to show that I really wanted it and that I worked my butt off in order to be able to win. But I ultimately didn't end up getting enough votes. In fact, it's pretty wide margin. When you're like over here getting 6% of the vote and Loren Culp's getting 17% of the vote, that is kind of a not even close kind of thing. And so what I want to talk about is that first sentence. It wasn't difficult for me to support Loren. And then the second several lines was, I am going to vote for him. I'm going to support him. I'm endorsing him. And I encourage everybody out there to do the same. And all the people that supported me, I want all of you supporting him in that race. And so I really mean that, though. When you see it in writing, you don't know if it's real, and you don't know if somebody else wrote it. And so I want everyone to know that I am strongly in support of Lauren's run for governor. And the next thing I said was, I got to know Lauren during this race, and he is a good guy. He's a good, decent guy, and we got along very well at these various events. For whatever reason, we kept getting sat next to one another, and it went back as far as January, even before COVID. The first debate we had with Jason Rance, KTTH, we were sitting next to one another. And the reason I want to talk about this is because everyone on an email, you can't get to everything, but why was it also not difficult? In the first debate, Jason Rance asked Joshua Freed, Joshua, if it's not you, who do you want to vote for? Who would you support? Who would you want to win? And Joshua, being Joshua, didn't want to give an answer, didn't want to give a straight answer. And he kind of danced around with it. And of course, it's an awkward question because anybody that's running wants to be able to say, well, it's going to be me. And I don't want to send any signals or doubt or anything like that, that would be the case. What ended up happening after that was Jason ended up asking some other candidate a different question, to which Joshua ends up complaining, hey, why aren't you asking them the same question? And Jason said, I know they're all going to give the same kind of answer you just gave, so therefore I'm not going to ask it. And I remember thinking to myself, well, that's weird because I would have said Lauren. And I said that to Jason. He'll be able to confirm that. Is that after the debate, I went up to Jason and I said, I thought it was kind of funny that you ended up not asking all of us, because if you had asked me, I would have said, if it's not me, I want it to be Lauren Culp. And why is that? Why is that? I like the fact that Lauren's from the east side of the state. I think that's a great thing. I was born and raised in Yakima. I like the fact that he's from the east side of the state. You're more of an underdog when you're from the east side of the state, which makes you hungrier. I think that's a good thing. I think that's a very positive thing. I like the fact that Lauren stood up against Bob Ferguson. I admire that because Bob Ferguson tried to intimidate Lauren Culp. Bob Ferguson's tried to intimidate me. And here he was standing up for our rights, and I feel like I've been standing up for our rights as well. And I was at one of these first rallies, the Second Amendment rally, and everybody at the Second Amendment rally obviously was for Lauren, because Lauren, that's just that's a lane that he's got. But I was making it very clear that I was also pro Second Amendment, and I did the same thing. I said, good for Lauren for standing up to Bob Ferguson. And standing up for our Second Amendment rights, and I admire that about him. And I did the same thing when it came to the First Amendment, because that's the battle that I'm in. And then I also highlighted the fact that Lauren served and protected our country's freedoms serving in the 101st Airborne. I don't think any of us really take enough time to appreciate people that actually served in the military, because it is an extraordinary sacrifice. It's an amazing thing that you've done for people, and a lot of times what you'll find that people that serve in the military is that they are the nicest people you're ever going to meet. They're always so respectful. They're always so incredibly gracious, and it's kind of a speak softly, carry a big stick kind of thing. And then the final thing that was in the endorsement of Lauren was highlighting the fact that he will, no doubt, veto any tax increase. There is no doubt that he would veto any attack on our Second Amendment rights, and I fully believe that he will deliver for us our $30 tabs. I've seen him speak on this many times. And then the other thing I wanted to highlight about my support for Lauren was that throughout the campaign, I made sure that I was getting along with not just the other candidates, but their supporters as well. And anybody who's out there that is a Lauren Culp supporter, you will acknowledge this, that I never try to get anybody to change their minds and give up on their guy. I left all the other candidates alone. I did everything I could to have the other candidates, people, stop attacking one another, because I didn't think that that was going to help us in our ultimate goal to save us from 4 more years of Jay Inslee. And so I got along extremely well with the Culp people because I love people and I'll talk to anybody. And so Josh Culp and I, Nick Culp and I, many of his lieutenants, Greg Peterson, one of my favorite people, Kim Peterson, tells me and calls me out on some of my crap, and I love that about them. And I'm getting pictures with them, and they're like trying to wonder whether or not they want to get pictures with me when they're wearing their Culp stuff, and I'm saying it's totally fine. It's all going to work itself out by the time August rolls around. And so I showed all the pictures of all the people that I had gotten photos with where I'm wearing a Culp button, and they're wearing a Governor, Hyman sticker. And what I'm showing everybody is that we are all on the same team. We are all part of the same family. We all are unified over the idea that Jay Inslee is destroying our state, hurting people, doing bad things to all of us, and that whatever our differences amongst one another, we are a family at the end of it, and only as a family do we even have a shot at pulling this thing off. So what I was trying to do throughout this entire process was to be a bridge between the candidates, a bridge between the various supporters of those candidates, and that ultimately they would be able to say, if I had been chosen, Hyman never took a shot at me, never took a shot at my guy. He was actually quite friendly with me. He was quite friendly with us. He was always respectful of us. And in fact, I went out of my way in some of the debates when they were over with, is I would go up to Culp people and say, I thought your guy did very well tonight. And I wasn't giving up anything, is the thing. Is that throughout this process, we seem to think that we have a tremendous amount of control over it. And the reality is you don't have that much control over it, because you are who you are, and that's all you can present to people. And what I tried to do is to show people who I was, and they would make the ultimate decision as to whether or not that was good enough for them, or if there was somebody that they would prefer that was better. And it didn't mean that they disliked me. It just meant that they preferred this other person. And I think that that is a healthy thing, a very positive thing about the process. And then the other thing I want to just emphasize is that Lauren Culp is going to be traveling the state of Washington. And as he travels the state, I am not a casual supporter. I am not a casual endorser. I will go to wherever they go, and if he would give me a chance to be able to speak before his crowds, I will spend my time saying why everyone should vote for Lauren Culp and not vote for Jay Inslee. And I think I can play a very positive role doing that because I think I make the case very well that Jay Inslee's got to go. And the other thing I want to say, again, on the Lauren Culp thing, two things actually. King 5 did an interview with Lauren and with me separately on Friday. And some of you have seen it, some of you hadn't, but it was long. It was 6.5 minutes long. Anybody who knows TV news, that's a mind-blowing amount of time. And they ended up basically giving 3 minutes to Lauren and 3 minutes to me. And what they ended up asking Lauren was about the masks and about that kind of stuff. And Lauren did very well. But we were all doing this Zoom crap. And so a bit of a disadvantage. So my turn came up. And I'm being interviewed by Wright, somebody who I've known for many, many, many years. And he was asking me, so what do you think about Lauren? And I said exactly what I said in writing. You know, he's a good guy. No doubt he'll give us $30 tabs. And I became an advocate for him in that interview. And I felt really good about it. I felt very comfortable doing it. And I have no problem. I don't go halfway into anything. So the idea that I would put it in writing but wouldn't say it out loud just isn't in my DNA. It wasn't going to be that way. But I felt like I made a very positive contribution, because when you're running against one another, like we were during, we obviously couldn't say anything publicly nice about one another. But now that Lauren has ended up winning the primary, and he won the primary, so he's the one who's taking on Inslee. Since he's the one, well, then what we need to do is make sure that he wins. And we need to pull out all the stops to make sure that he wins. We want to go pedal to the metal. And that was, kind of my headline. My pedal to the metal run for governor is now a pedal to the metal effort to help Lauren Culp win. In that process, I want to make sure that I also help the other winners in the campaign. I want to make sure that I help Matt Larkin become Attorney General, because Bob Ferguson is horrible and bad. And on the campaign trail, I will be able to do that as well. I want to make sure Maya Espinoza ends up beating Chris Wright, because, thank goodness, referendum 90 ended up qualifying for the ballot, and so Wright isn't very popular right now. I want to help her. I want to help Kim Wyman, because Kim Wyman has been a very good Secretary of State, and she's done a very, very good job looking out for us. And I want to help her win. I want Dwayne Davidson, our treasurer, to win. I want to make sure that our team wins. I want to make sure our state senators win. I want to make sure our state House members win. I want to do everything I can to help those people that think that I can help them. And so, open invitation, everybody. If you think that Tim will help you in your race, invite me and I'll speak at it. If you've got some event that you're doing and you think it would help for me to be there, I'll be there. I'm going to be traveling the state all over the place from now until November, helping everybody that I think I can help. So now the drum roll, please. Lieutenant Governor. Lieutenant Governor. So a little history on this one. Wednesday morning, I wake up with my campaign manager, Pete, sending me a text message saying, Tim, I've got an idea, call me. I'm not taking calls. Text it to me. He sends it to me and said, write in for Lieutenant Governor. My response was, no, I'm not going to do that. But of course, I said the same thing about running for governor until about a week before I announced. So, okay, lay it out for me. And so Pete spent the time walking me through the process and how it would actually work. At this point, I am intrigued with it. I'm open to it. I think it's an interesting idea, and all the math makes sense. You got the two completely whack job liberal Democrats running against each other. Therefore, you've got an entire lane available for somebody that would be able to run that lane as a write-in. And there's plenty of precedent for this, by the way. Lisa Murkowski, who I already knew, I'm 22 years being a political activist, you know these things. Lisa Murkowski, the governor of, senator from Alaska, did a write-in campaign statewide, was successful. Linda Smith, Southwest Washington, Congress, write-in, successful. So I knew it can work. And did I have the ability to do it? Yeah. Did I have the energy to do it? No kidding. Of course I do. So I'm intrigued with it at this point. I'm like, okay, I'm open to this. This is interesting. I'm kind of going in that direction. Then I start to hear about the politics of it, where there are other people seeing the same thing that Pete saw right away the next morning. You know, two completely whack job, crazy Democrats running against each other. Here's this lane. Here's this availability. And why did we get 36 people running for governor? Well, we got 136 because free will. People have the ability to do anything you want with your time. So therefore, you can have anybody sign up and run for governor, and so that's why you have 36. So I ended up hearing the exact same thing that we heard throughout the entire primary, which was, why don't you guys all get together and just pick one, and only one will run. For those of you who know the movie Highlander, that is, there can only be one. So I'm open to it. I'm intrigued with it. And so then throughout the weekend, you start seeing other people that are intrigued with it and interested in it. And I was doing everything I could, which is hard for me, to keep my mouth shut, to not actually weigh in on it, not post on it. And because I was saying nothing, that made everyone suspicious, because Tim never doesn't stop talking. So that made it very, very challenging for me, just to keep my mouth shut. Then finally, we reach the point where we are today. And the way we are today is that I heard through the grapevine that I am acceptable. I'm an acceptable person to the CULP team. And that's pretty cool, if you really think about it. I'm acceptable. In other words, if I was the one that was running, I would be okay. In other words, I was simpatico with them. They didn't have a problem with me being the nominee for this effort. But they ended up saying that we're going to leave it to the state party to decide who it was that the state party wanted. And they had a list of people that they weren't keen on, this is the CULP people, not keen on certain people being that person. I made the cut. I made it through the threshold. And so I got a call about an hour ago from somebody that just said, what do you want to do, Tim? And I, again, was keeping cards close to my vest. And I ended up just saying, well, what are you hearing out there? What's the buzz? What's the deal? So the state party is meeting right now. They started at 5 o'clock, and they ended up having it be where they're going to discuss this as part of their daily stuff. And so I have no idea how that thing is going to go. So I tried to pull myself out of it and said to myself, would I like it if they picked me? Would I dislike it if they didn't pick me? And so I kind of went through this mental exercise. And I'm getting to a point, but I wanted you to understand where I'm coming from so that you understand that this is my life. This is what I do. I am to be in the political arena. This is my world. So I want you to understand where my mind is. And so, like I said, about an hour ago, it's like, let us know what you want. What do you think? Whatever. And so I prayed on it. I've been praying on it. I've been praying pretty much since that phone call, trying to figure out what is the right decision and trying to humble myself and try and say, am I called to do this? Am I called to do this? And not called by all of you, although I love all of you. And it's so complimentary when people suggest it and say that they're ready to go to bat for me and they're willing to fight for me and they're going to get out there and they're going to push me and all that kind of stuff. And the thing that I was drawn to, several things. One, I learned that a bunch of people in the party wouldn't want me to be the person. So that made me want to do it. When I learned that it's going to be extremely hard, I was really more drawn to it because I want hard. If If it was easy, everyone would do it. It's the hard that makes it special. And so it wasn't the hard. It wasn't the fact that some people didn't want me to run, get in line. I fundamentally came down in prayer. I am not called to do this one. This one I'm not called to do. I'm called to be in the arena, but not called to do this particular challenge that's before us. So it is 5:31. I took 30 minutes. I didn't plan to go 30 minutes, but I went 30 minutes. That I'm not called to do this. So if the party ends up picking somebody else, I'm going to help that person be the person that runs. And if they pick me, I will politely say, no, this one is not going to be the one for me. But I do want to understand this, is that I am pedal to the metal in this arena. I am in this fight. I am not the write-in candidate for lieutenant governor, but what's that got to do with stopping me from being in the arena for as many people as they feel I can help? I could be a fantastic opening act, let me just tell you. I could be an incredible opening act. Give me 5-10 minutes and I will absolutely shine you up like a beautiful, lovely penny. I will rip and tear into whoever it is you're running against with absolute passion. You want me to give a speech to your Rotary Club? I'm in. You want me to give a speech to your women's club? I'm in. If you want me anywhere, I'm in, because I am pedal to the metal helping our side succeed this election cycle. I want to help our president win Washington State. I want to help our president win the race nationally. I want to do everything I can to be able to help do that, because I think our side, our family, our team is better than their team. Referendum 90, thank you very much. Janet Evans, excellent point. Referendum 90 must succeed, and we must get past the insane confusion that we are supposed to be, all of us need to vote reject Referendum 90. Very confusing. A lot of people, Janet just had to correct herself, rather reject Referendum 90. See, this is something that I could do. Now, I do have another announcement, and it's a big one, and I'm really excited about it. And this was, if my prayers had gone in the direction of doing this thing, then this wouldn't have happened. But because in my mind, in my world, in my signal from God that what I'm intended to do is not this, it's to do other things, I want people to understand that I have another big project that I'm not going to announce now. I want to let you know that. Next couple of days, though, I'm going to go ahead and put that off. So I am absolutely committed to continuing with these lawsuits on the mask mandate, committed to continuing on the lawsuit when it comes to opening up our schools. I want to do the lawsuit when it comes to the initiative in the city of SeaTac to ban facial recognition technology, the recall on Jenny Durkin. There are so many different battles that I began during this campaign for governor, and all of them I'm committed to continuing with. But when it comes to the write-in for lieutenant governor, I would want you to write in the name of the person that the party ends up picking. And I think that that would be the right move. I want you to understand, again, enormous honor even to be considered for this. I heard from a ton of people that were for other candidates that were absolutely in love with the idea of me being the write-in for lieutenant governor. And I did enjoy the idea of being the wingman for Lauren Culp, where he's governor and I'm lieutenant governor, and making sure that they will never, the deep state would never take out Loren Culp, because that would mean I would become governor. So isn't that nice that I would be able to protect Loren, his flank, because in no circumstances would the left or the media or the deep state of Washington ever take out Loren Culp as long as I was the lieutenant governor, because there's no way they would ever do it, because I would become governor. So anyway, I'll go ahead and leave it at that. Just want to let you know, just to recap one more time. One, thank you, everybody. I adore you. Love, love, love you all. Thank you for helping me run for governor. Great experience. Second thing, vote for, support, endorse, and encourage everyone you know and everyone I know that supported me to support Loren Culp for governor, that you all support everybody that ran. Chris Leba for state auditor. I want to make sure Maya Espinoza gets through for superintendent of public instruction, even though it's nonpartisan. Make sure that you succeed in the governor's race. Make sure that you succeed in the attorney general's race. Matt Larkin, way to go, Matt. Very, very excited for you. My wrestling coach, Bob Alschuler, is watching it. I hope I've made my wrestling coach in high school proud of me with the way I've conducted myself here. But I am just so grateful for so many people encouraging me to do this. I have absolute passion and energy to have taken this thing on. I have absolutely a commitment to doing it pedal to the metal. This one wasn't calling me. This one wasn't what I was called to do. And so I have no doubt that this is the right decision. I have no doubt that that all of you are going to realize months from now, years from now, that this was the right move overall, not just for me, but for the state of Washington. And I'm going to keep doing these Facebook Lives, just so you know, because one, they're fun. Two, I think they're very informative. Three, I'd like to think that I'm interesting. I don't know about that, maybe pushing it. Entertaining, I don't even like that word. But it's a great way to keep you guys informed. So I am going to be pedal to the metal with Permanent Offense. Permanent Offense is the name of my continuing political action committee. PermanentOffense.com is what it's called. PermanentOffense.com. I'm going to want all of you to like and love the page Permanent Offense, and let's build that one up. Tiffany is going to try and transfer as many of the Governor Tim Eyman people over to the Permanent Offense page and the Tim Eyman personal page, because I love you all and I want to continue to communicate with all of you. And I love Janet Evans. I love you, Janet. Janet drove all the way from one side of the state to Yakima just to be able to hear me speak, and I wasn't able to speak. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off there. I love you all. It's going to be a fantastic election season. I'm going to be pedal to the metal. I am going to be giving speeches all over the state. I invite you to invite me to come to those. I will promote whatever you misspell. Tiffany Simmons decides to misspell offense, so it's permanentoffense.com, an S and not a C. And so I'm going to have a chance to see all my volunteers. I'm going to have a chance to see everybody. So anyway, I love you. Permanentoffense.com, permanentoffense.com, and also my legal defense fund, timdefense.com, timdefense.com. Tons of time for us to talk about that. So anyway, love you guys. Have a great evening.